What up, guys? I got bangs. Also, we have another important announcement. We have a new YouTube channel just for Flagrant 2. That's right. That's how popping these vids are getting because of you. So please, please subscribe right here. Hopefully Alex can put an icon near where my finger is pointing. If not, I'll look like an idiot. But subscribe to that right now. That's where all the Flagrant 2 clips and full episodes are going to be from now on. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell the world. We love you. Keep it tight. Bro, my dad used to have a joke. This, you know how you have your dad jokes?
Yeah.
So my dad, one of his dad jokes was, when the check comes, he goes, "Do you accept cash?"
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
it's a dad joke. Right?
Yeah.
Like, because in his mind, he comes from a generation where everyone accepted cash.
Yeah.
I tried to get some ice cream at Van Leeuwen.
Yeah.
Very good ice cream place.
Bomb, yeah.
They refused cash.
Yeah.
Son, a lot of places in New York
This
like
is
that.
new? This
Dig
is
in,
new?
A lot of
no
places in
cash.
Williamsburg.
Really?
Yeah,
What's
Brooklyn.
that salad
Yup.
spot you love? Sweet Green. No cash.
What?
Yeah, like my office in Brooklyn, all like the little vegan hipster spots. It's almost everything on that block is cashless. They take like Apple Pay, they take the cards with the chip, but no cash.
All the dope new restaurants where you want to be don't take cash.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So
That's why I started using the Apple Pay more, because like a lot
Very
of that shit, it's
convenient.
mad convenient, and a lot of times the places that you go, they don't take cash. Even the ATMs, like they're starting to make the ATMs with like no like card insert. Like you literally just do the double click and then you're there.
from your phone.
Yeah, from your phone.
That's genius,
And they
because
do
we
the fucking
forget
the
our-
Face
our card
ID,
in
all
there.
that shit. Yeah, like it's there's a Bank of America right down the street from my crib. You just run over there, do the Face
These
ID, and get
restaurants are
cash
so
real
stupid
quick.
with the cashless restaurants because
Yeah.
like the old G restaurants that stay in business,
Speak
like,
on it.
it's only cash.
Speak on it.
These places are thriving all the time because they don't pay as much taxes. Like, oh, we only made this much today.
Yeah, but
true.
if
So,
you're
Cal, explain what he's saying. Explain what he's saying. I
so
think you know
what Alex is saying is if you only accept cash,
Yeah.
let's say you make $10,000 in a day, you can easily tell the government, "Oh, I only made $4,000 today."
And how could they?
And
They
there's
can't
no
find
way
it,
for them
yeah.
to disprove it. Whereas with a receipt, there's always a copy. I can easily just not ring up a sale, take your cash, put it in my pocket.
So-
Government doesn't know now.
Here's the thing, and this is why shit I think is going to card. Every one of those restaurants started using that digital software called Micros or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, when like you type the order into the
Yes.
machine. That does a sales report,
Mm-hmm.
and the sales dictate how much money you made that day.
Oh,
So when the government comes and goes, "Oh, you only made $4,000 Saturday," let me see that sales report you got. Why does shit say 10 grand? You're like, "Oh, they walked out on that. That made me 6 grand. They ran out on that, fam." But back in the day, what did they used to do when you went into a diner? Was there a Micros? No, it was just
That
yelling at the
ching.
dude.
How much do we make
"Cheeseburger!"
today? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right on their little piece of paper. So I think that's why it was easier for them to transition to just digital, because they're like, I'm snitching on me if I try to keep some of the cash. You see what I'm saying?
No, I'm not fully clear.
So yeah,
So you're saying the restaurant wants to do this, or the government makes them do this?
what I'm saying is the restaurant uses this program because it's easier, it's
Right.
seamless, it's more functional,
Okay.
everything's in the system.
Right.
You can track what you're purchasing, etc. You can
Yeah.
track what is waste. Everything's in the system.
and
Right.
also all restaurants and bars use it. So when you
So a
get
new employee-
new employees, they already know.
Don't
how
have to
okay.
retrain them.
Got you.
No tickets get lost.
Got
Like
you.
go into any diner, right? It's a dude on a microphone yelling to the guys in the kitchen,
Right.
and then you wonder why when you said no cheese and it came with cheese, you're like,
Yeah.
because the guy's just getting screamed at in his
Yeah.
second language.
Right.
It's a Greek guy
Yeah.
who doesn't speak English screaming at a Mexican who also doesn't speak English.
Right.
And you're surprised there's broccoli on your fucking hamburger.
Right, right.
I thought you said broccoli, right? So it's like there's the little shit lost. When it's put in the computer,
Yeah.
ain't nothing lost.
Okay.
So once it's already in the computer,
Yeah.
that sale is registered.
Right.
You can't lie about how much you sold.
Correct.
And some of the way the taxes work, because they know the restaurants were getting slick, what they would charge you on, like for alcohol, is sales.
Right. Okay.
They don't care
I got
how
you.
much. It's not about what you bought. It's
Yeah.
how much you sold.
Yeah.
Or no, it's taxed on how much you bought from the place.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. The point is there's a record.
Right.
Where there used to not be.
Yeah.
And once there's a record,
Yeah.
motherfuckers like, I ain't playing that.
Easy
game.
to
Yeah,
trace.
so his point
Easy to
is,
trace.
his point originally is these restaurants are stupid for doing that because they could keep all this money tax free.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
And I also think the old ones, the IRS ain't even looking at them because they've been reporting minimal sales for so long. They're like, well, this ain't different.
That's interesting too, but also, Alex, that's easy for a mom and pop restaurant.
I was about to say, the mom
when
and pop
you're
shops,
Sweet
yeah.
Green and you got 50 locations and more are coming and coming and coming. You can't just be like, hey, fuck credit card, we're cash only.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's always human error as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like you can always like
human
forget.
stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, human stealing.
stealing.
Now you
That's
talking.
when it gets really fucked up.
It's harder to steal from your restaurant when you got everything locked in.
I remember I dated a bartender. She showed me how she steals.
The whole thing.
They get a lot.
God damn.
I would say they probably pocket at least 50% of everything they ring up.
Especially if it's cash.
And this is like almost all bartenders. do that
And
shit.
you're still an animal if you don't tip on a beer purchase.
yeah.
Yo, but outside the tip, what they'll do is you'll ask for a Bloody Mary with like a special vodka. They'll just bring in Bloody Mary, but they're gonna charge you for that Grey Goose,
Yeah.
right? So now that $10 Bloody Mary, you got charged $25.
Right.
Where's that $15 go?
That's my pocket.
Yo, but I'll be honest, there is value in being truthful because my parents' business, my dad was always like an honest motherfucker when it comes to stuff. They
He
were making
believes
cash.
in paying the taxes you should pay.
Like I could have I incorporated my business
Yeah.
right in New York.
I remember this
Everybody
day.
everybody in New York that has a business incorporates in Delaware because it's cheap. There's no business tax or something.
They're incredibly friendly toward corporations. It's
Yes.
like that's where you should incorporate.
They're like the Bahamas, but in America.
Yeah, the Swedish.
Yeah,
I was
they're
about to say, is that like
the
is that what
Swiss,
Swiss
the
bank
Swiss,
accounts
yeah.
do? Yeah, you
Boom,
get
so
your money
you go
over
to
there.
Delaware, right? Because they got no business or nothing in Delaware. So
Yeah.
they're like, fuck it, we'll just be a tax haven. And my dad goes to me, where do you do business? And I go, well, in New York. He goes, well, then you should put New York. But yeah, but they're going to charge way more. And it's like, he goes, but where do you do business? So I got to do it, right? This is what happens. My parents have this business, dance lessons, teaching dance lessons, and they took a lot of cash. Some people back in the day would just pay cash for it. So they pay their fucking taxes. My dad was an honest dude. 9/11 happens. Every business downtown is decimated.
Right.
All these restaurants destroyed. Nobody's going downtown. People also don't have
Terrified
money.
and shit. Yeah.
And also, they lost their jobs. So
Yeah.
many people. So they don't have the extra money. Everybody's being tight. So the government was giving out bonds. And the bonds were based on how much revenue you brought in.
So if you were doing a good business, all right. So like,
So my parents were honest.
They
about their
reported all the revenue.
Yeah.
So it's
then
high.
Exactly. So then when they asked for the bond, the government was like, okay, well, yeah, you made this. Here you go. So many businesses were like, well, can we have some money to run? And they're like, well, how much money did you make last year? And they're like, oh, barely any. Because they lied on their fucking...
And they made 100, but they only reported 30. So they got $30,000 worth of bonds now.
And that's the only thing that kept my parents' business afloat.
no shit.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's
crazy.
real crazy.
That's crazy.
He better than me. I'm lying.
Still, I mean, I ain't gonna say nothing that's gonna get me incriminated,
Yeah,
but
no.
yes, I understand why certain people would do certain things, and I'm gonna just keep it at that.
So
Here's
do we have
what-
a go?
Last thing I'm going to say, if you want to check out this book, the thing that I took from it, even when I was 19 when I read it the first time, but the thing I took from it is this idea that taxes are to punish the rich. Rich people make the tax laws. They will always put in loopholes that they can get around. And if they're not necessarily written there, they'll find a way around it. Every rich person you know is cheating in his taxes. Matter of fact,
course.
your boy on the podcast, what was his name, James?
Al Tucker.
That's all he was saying. The richest people don't pay no fucking taxes.
Yeah, you guys listen. It's a great podcast. I did an interview with Al Tucker, and he explains really how rich people operate without paying any tax.
That's all I've been trying to figure out, like in the past 5-6 months.
Here it is. Ready?
Like, yeah.
And again, this is super leveled up. This is not where we are.
Of
we
course.
can't
We're
do
the level
this, but
above.
this
This is
lets
when
you know.
if you're,
But this lets you know.
nine-figured motherfuckers,
Right, and then
Find the legal loopholes.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what they've created, right? So what they'll do is this: they'll have a publicly shared company, like Berkshire Hathaway is for Warren Buffett,
Okay.
right? And he'll work for that company, and he'll get a salary of $1 because all of his salary is stock options, all of the stock in which he owns, I believe, or something, or the
Which
majority.
makes it seem like it's so altruistic.
Right. Oh, we'll get into that later. Yeah.
I always wonder why people do that.
So check it. So what happens is this. They make no money, but you need money to operate.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you need money to operate? You take a loan against those shares. Now, if you guys know anything about loans, you don't pay tax on loans because that's not income. So now you have this money to operate, and you don't have to pay taxes on it. Now, if you want to pay that back, you can pay that back in shares. So you can be like, hey, here's X amount of shares to my company to pay back the millions of dollars that
I borrowed from
I borrowed from you. Now you got millions of dollars cash and paid $0 to the government. They've created an economy that exists outside of our economy. This is how rich people operate. Listen to the whole interview if you want. It's truly
I'm
fascinating.
definitely gonna listen to it because I've just been fascinated on like how, you know, just being around like these like super rich motherfuckers and just trying to figure out how the fuck they find these loopholes.
I called
and how
my
they do
business
that
manager.
shit.
I asked if I could make my company a publicly shared company,
Yeah.
so we could do this, and he almost hung up on me. He was like, "You're not Warren Buffett, fam."
No, motherfucker. Goddamn.
I was like, "We could have like 5 shares. You know what I mean? It don't gotta be that many shares."
But there's little shit that's legal that you can do that you should look into. Just learning money is so fucking valuable.
yeah.
You have
yeah.
a corporation, you write shit off. Like
That's-
you should
that's
be
the shit-
incorporated.
yeah. No,
Are you
I am incorporated. Yeah.
Boom. So there you go. You're writing off your meals. You're writing off all
Every
this stuff.
single thing that, you know, for traveling, for like Nike stuff, for like WWE stuff, like any type of fucking shit that I get to work with other companies, that goes through. When I pay Eden for Revolt shit, that comes through my LLC and
There you go.
corporation. So
If you get
Is there a difference between LLC and incorporation?
Yep.
What's-
So LLC is a limited liability corporation, and I have something that's called an SCorp. There's also C corps, and I'd be lying to you if I could tell you the exact details, but each one is a different level of incorporation, and the LLC I would say is like the beginning level of it, and there are certain benefits for an LLC, certain benefits for a C corp, certain benefits for an S corp, and I think as you kind of level up, you change within that.
yeah.
And I'm sure there's something completely different when you have a publicly traded company. I'm sure that's probably outside of corporation.
My understanding is a C corp.
Oh yeah, you
is-
know tax law.
A little bit. No, very little. I have a C corp because my dad studies
I'm not that
taxes and was
Indian.
like, "This is what you should do now." But I don't even know that it was right. But like C corp is if it's like multinational, that's usually C corps. I probably I feel like I should have gone S corp. He's saying with Trump's new laws, C corp would be
Trust
better for
his
me. I don't
ass,
know.
man.
Yeah.
They know
But
that.
find people who know money and then learn as much as you can about money. And I remember another thing I just read is like poor middle class people get their expenses. They have to pay all their expenses first, and then whatever's left is theirs. Smart people, rich people with money who are incorporated, they take all their money and then pay their expenses. So when you get a paycheck from a W-2 company, you work at, I don't know, Nike, they tax you first.
Yeah.
Then whatever's left is yours. And then you got to pay all your bills, blah, blah, blah. And then you get a little bit left. If you're incorporated, all this money is yours. Anything I pay for that's expenses, that's my business meetings, that's my mortgages, that's my suits, whatever that you can write off, you write that off first, and then whatever's left, that's the income that gets taxed. You can probably word this more clearly than me.
What you're saying is brilliant. So
pretty spot on.
so exactly what it is it's the difference between a tax refund and then paying taxes.
Yeah.
So the average person with a job, right,
Gets a tax refund.
gets a tax refund, and what that means is the government took more money than they should have taken.
Yeah. And we
Right.
get so fucking happy.
And we get happy that we get our money back. This is how crazy it is. The government gets a free loan on our money.
Yeah.
Right? That means you paid throughout the year. They're getting that money that you're giving them for free. They can do whatever they want with that money.
taking it,
They can invest it. They can make money on the money that you've
Yep.
given them. Let's say you gave them $50,000. They could put that in a bond, right? Make $5,000 on it. You get none of that $5,000, right? They just give you the money back that you deserve because you might have paid too much, and then you get excited that you get your money back that they already made some money.
Yeah.
on, right? What rich people do if you're incorporated is you get your whole check, and the government goes, "Yo,
Time to pay
April,
up.
you gotta cough it up."
Yeah.
But we assume you're rich and responsible, so we're not gonna take your money, but you're gonna have to pay, and that's why rich people get audited. And poor people, you never heard of anybody in the projects getting audited.
No, never. I mean,
You know what I mean? Like the IRS doesn't break down.
They got random audit. I got a random audit once. But here's the
But
other thing. So when you
might
get
have some shit.
No, this is before.
Okay.
When you get a check, this is
Our
before.
guy's got different shit in his name. Bro. Like,
Oh yeah, I had a
They
restaurant.
probably spelled differently.
Our
five
guy's got
different ways.
888 numbers calling him a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been having some numbers. I got some. I ain't picking up
put me
no
on, son.
unknown
I
numbers.
don't know.
So when we lived together, this motherfucker had all the 800s calling him, and he would just send them shits to voicemail.
Bruh, it's
Put me on, son.
Facts.
No, you don't
so,
want to be put on.
It's so funny that they think calling me is gonna make me do anything. Like you're not getting your money back with caller ID, son. It's literally this.
Okay.
What are we talking about? That's it. That's all I
And now
gotta
they
do
got
before
the
paying me
auto-
thousands of dollars.
Now they got the auto dialer, so when like you call them and you don't hear nothing for a while, and then they pick up and then you just say,
Oh yeah, bye. See you later.
Yeah, my folks opened a restaurant in my name, shut down. I did never pay that back. I'm not good. I was 22 or something.
Why would you?
And then the hospital, I have that healthcare bit. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but I owed like $5,000 after insurance, and on principle, I was like, "Go fuck yourself." We never paid it, and then I went broke, so God got me back. But but anyway, here's the other thing I was gonna say. What I was trying to word is, if you have a job and they take your taxes out, then whatever's left, you have to pay for all your expenses with.
Right.
I have to pay for my wardrobe. I have to pay for my company meals, whatever the fuck, my meals.
Yeah.
If you are incorporated, you pay your expenses first.
All those things are written off.
Write-offs, and
Right.
those are an income. As long as I can find a way to tie it to my business, now it's not my income. So if I made $100,000 and $50,000 went to my expenses, I'm only getting taxed on half the money I would get taxed on normally.
Right.
And that saves me, $20,000, whatever, in the long run.
Real talk.
So incorporate, guys. Learn money if you
Get
can.
it.